Welcome back to Small British Steps, and you find me in the administration building. At the end of last episode, we finished the last required flight of our X-15 cockpitted, what do you call it, Crummock, yeah, the Crummock R2, I think it was a Crummock R2. We broke the Kármán line. We do have the mission for suborbital flight. But that's not a requirement for this program. It'd be nice actually if there was another program after this, like the next step, where it was a bit like your sort of crude orbital, but maybe partway there. Maybe you could split the X-planes in half. Anyway, but enough of that. You may be wondering, why have I not closed this program down? Because I'm debating at the moment, okay? We've got currently about a year and a half, something like that, a year and a half left on this program. Which is worth to us over 100,000, just to put it out there. We don't have any other programs we could take because we haven't completed early satellites heavy. So just think about that. Got 100,000 on the table. We got a few hundred, I think we got about 150 or something like that. It wasn't a huge amount of reputation when we completed the previous program early. Okay, and that was a lot early. It was years and years and years early. If we were to get 200 reputation, that would give us about 30,000 a year extra subsidy, if that. And of course, our loss rate would go up to match it and so forth. So I'm going to sit on this. There's no point us finishing it just yet. We haven't got anything to replace it. When we finish early satellites heavy, I think we'll take them both out. So at this point, I don't know if that X-plane suborbital will actually stay or whether it will be vanished at some point. So I think we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're basically not going to do that at the moment. Although we could take it. I mean, there is nothing stopping me taking it. I've just got to build the craft for it that we talked about in the last episode. So we might as well take that, actually. Do I gain something? There's no timer on it. I've got space for it. Let's just take it. And with that in mind, we will look at what to do with this actual vessel. We're going to pull it up a bit, actually, so I've got space underneath it. The question I've got is, can I get this into orbit with a smaller, simpler rocket? I'm not sure. Don't save that at the moment. I think we'll just try it on a Puck equivalent. So we're going to merge the Puck 1 with its nice small heat shield, and then we're going to grab it. There we are. Like so. That should be all of it. Yes, it is. Plop it underneath there. There we go. And I think that's it done. We can get rid of that. And that's going to be a 90 day. Is that for current? That is current. Maxed out be 50. That's not bad, actually. I'm not unhappy with that, actually. What we will do is we'll just pull the whole thing down so it fits nicely. Do I need to do any tooling? Do I want to tool it? How much is that going to cost me? It's going to cost me 906. Saves us 200 almost. And it does give us an avionics in the S3 range. I don't know if we've got any of those so far. Let's have a look. S1, S3 avionics. We already have one. So we've already tooled it a bit. What's it going to do if I tool it? How short of time is it? It takes 6 days off it. You know what? We're not in a rush, are we? So we'll do that. So that's the Romeo, and that is, how am I actually naming these? Don't save. How am I naming these? We're naming them with brackets Javelin. Okay. So this is going to be brackets Javelin 2A4. We could probably get away, looking at that Delta V, we could probably get away with only one set of side boosters, actually. That is a possibility. Would that actually work? Let's save this. Let's just have a go. Do that and do that. I want 2 of them. Would that give us... Well, it give me 50 seconds burn on that and that and that and that. It would get us up. And it would save us a little bit of time. Would it fit the pad? It's too light. It's too light. Of course it is. Okay. So we'll load it up again and see what it says. So Romeo. There we go. Load Romeo. Okay. Is that too light? Oh dear. Are you too light? No, you're just over the limit, because that payload is literally like half a ton or something. It's we're right on our limit there. Glad that we actually took it down to 79. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to put this payload. I might have to put some dead weight on the top. As it is, it's probably a better idea to put some dead weight on the top. Anyway, right. We'll build that like so. Vessel cannot be built. Oh yeah, we can't build it yet. Whoopsies. So we need to build that in the future. What we will do is we're going to tidy up some stuff in here. You can see this. We're going to delete that because we don't need it. And we're going to delete, what else? The super swift test craft. I'm actually going to delete that. There we go. This is something I like to do when I'm going through it. So we've got the puck. We'll delete that. That's good. Just if I don't want replicas of things. Javelin 2B Romeo. I've got the Romeo on the Javelin 2A4. Oh, I know what that is. That was the other plan that I had. Get rid of that. 2A8, 2A4. We've got that. We've got that. We've got the Juliet series. That I don't think we launched all of them off. Javelin 1B4. That's that. The A4. Why have I got that? Oh, that was this sounding rocket. Okay. The rest of these, what I actually need to do is create a new folder and just store them in there. Okay, but we'll get to that in the future. Right. So that is going to take 95 days when we're able to do it. I think what we might do is, how do I do that thing where we put it into parts lists? There used to be a thing where you could press it and it would, where is it? Is it in this? Is it in the plans? Okay. So we could just add that to the plans. This was, oh, you can't even put it in the plans until you've done it? Come on. Seriously? Oh, that's just annoying. Right. Okay. So that's done. Let's move on, I think. The next bit of sort of it's just general stuff we're going to do, we're going to bring up the combined. So we're actually waiting for Lunar. I think I'm going to move descent and landing back up. I swapped these around partway through the last episode because I thought lunar range communication, I want to start building stuff, but we don't need it for these two. So if we swap them around, they're still going to be the other way around. So I think we do that. Is that going to work? That is going to be high altitude, and that's going to be finished after that, and then that'll take about 100 odd days, and then the next craft will be ready after that. So yeah, that's not going to be a big issue for us. I think that's the right way to do it, because we can actually put the entry, descent and landing in here as well if we need it, and then we can build the lunar communications stuff up if we need to. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. You can see Crummock is taking forever to get back. Right, I think I'm okay with that. You know what? Let's have a think. We've got an awful lot of money coming in, and we have an opportunity to put a lot of staff in here. So I think we just hire 100 staff. That's probably a good idea. What's that going to do to us? Well, it's nothing. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to take this up to a point where that just gets dealt with. 25. That's what we were going to put in originally, wasn't it? 40 days. You know what? Just deal with it in 9 days. Thank you. That take it to 270. We could put some more in there. I could max it. We do have the staff. We go 10. That's 20, 30. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then one more, I think, would do it. One more maxes it when we need it, I think. Oh no, it doesn't. We're 100 out. Okay, well, just hire another 100 then. That's the logical one, isn't it? There we go. And do that. There, sorted. Right, that shortens the build time considerably, and now it matters which way around we put these things. So I think, yeah, entry, descent, and landing is in the right place now, because we're going to put another craft in after that. Which will then mean lunar communications are ready, the craft will build. Yeah, that seems about right for me now. Yeah, that works. That's shortened everything down, hasn't it? We're not making as much everything, but every year we've got a big chunk now. That's good. We're going to need those crew anyway because we're going to need to build quite a few rockets pretty quickly. Right, so let's rush through this. Oh, I know what it is. Astronaut. That's why I went in here originally. Astronaut. Retirement dates 61, 62, 61. So technically Roy Reid is the one that's going to be here in about 4 years. Are we going to be doing crewed launches in 4 years? That's a good question. That's going to finish in 2 years. It's going to be finished by the end of the year. So then we've got to think. We've got that's 3. That's going to be a year's work. That's going to be 9 months' work. And that's going to take it to 2 years. So that's going to be 2 years of research, probably a bit more actually. Oh, and we have to get this one as well. So 2.5 years of research. That is 2.5 years of research. 2.5 years of research takes us to 61. Do I really want my first crew going up, knowing they're going to retire? I think we actually sack them. I don't want to do it, but I think we have to sack them. We'll keep Elsie about. No, we'll keep Elsie about. She was the last to join. Primarily just because Elsie is the one whose name I can never pronounce and I must learn. Elsie Gray is the one that's going to stay. Primarily because we might want to launch the Crummock and get some science if we get really tight for science. So I don't really want to have to do anything else. So we'll get rid of Roy. How do we fire you? Can I fire you? How do you fire Kerbals nowadays? How do I fire them? How do you fire them? I mean, hello? How do you fire a Kerbal? Okay, this is new. I know how to hire them. I don't know how to fire them. Like, do we have to wait until they retire? Oh, well, that's new. They're fired for life, I think. Budget. Can I not get rid of them? Is that not something you can do? Anybody remember how to fire an astronaut? There's no button for firing astronauts. That sets an alarm. Staff, we can't do it there. That's not going to work. Okay, this is odd. So I can release you, but I can't fire an astronaut. Why can't I fire you? Do I always need to have 3 or something? Is that the rule? It cost me 5,000 to hire them. Maybe it's to stop you hiring and then releasing. Interesting. Can I fire them if I do that? 25% training time. Ooh, Kerbals can form EVAs. Yeah, I'm not going to need that. Expected cost per day. Wow, that is a... Hold on a second. I haven't looked at this. We need to... Does this... Is that... Surely that cannot be... research teams, astronauts, construction, program budget. Where's just facilities? Right, so currently... Is that right? That cannot be right. Oh, that's the cost on top. But it doesn't tell me the predicted cost, like, to actually keep it running. So currently mission control costs us 5. This is going to cost us, doesn't tell me. How much would upgrading that cost me? 500 a day. That's got to be the cost to do that. Yeah, that's about right, isn't it? Yeah, that works out about right. But it doesn't tell me how much it costs to actually run it, which would be really useful. Okay, we're learning lots of new things today. Right, you know what, just get this stuff out of the way. Get the proficiency done. We're keeping hold of our trainee pilots, I guess. It's going to be a drain. I don't actually know how much are pilots cost me. Budget. Astronauts 41 a day. Wow. Why are you got an upkeep of 20? Why are you 20.5? What is that about? Why have you got a higher... Is that because... Yours is higher as well. Why is yours now higher? That's weird. What if I speed up a bit? Are they all higher? That's weird. You're all different prices. Why are you two higher than you? Why are you two twice the price that he is? What's going on? That's odd. Yeah, if anybody can figure out how to fire a pilot, that would be really useful because they're costing me a fortune. Right, the Crummock R2 is back. Do I want it to do anything? No, I don't. So we're not gonna use it. I don't think. I mean, it's got a single engine, so we could potentially have it hold its height and do something else, but that would involve me resetting it. I'm just going to leave it. Well, that's my budget destroyed. Did you all see me do that? Did you see me miscalculate? Yeah, you probably did, didn't you? Right. Let's rush forward, get the puck ready. At least then we can think about something. If we had another launch pad, we could just stick some random craft in it, couldn't we? Right. You know what? I'm going to scrap the Derwent. I've got the crew. I might as well do some work with that. Right, we're going to roll that out. I'm going to sort the Crummock out, and then we will we'll look at actually using that crew to do something with it. Right, it is time for us to launch. You can see there's a light on in the factory there. They're obviously doing some work. I don't know what they're doing. Very cloudy day. I actually went forward in time to try and get us some non-cloudy period, but it is just very cloudy. So yeah, we've got very little going on right now. As soon as that finishes, we'll put the Romeo 1 on to build, and that should take us to after range communications, and then we can look at having craft build while we're sorting out the range communications, the lunar range communication stuff. We might want to look at a bigger launch vehicle as well, is what I'm actually wondering, whether we want to go bigger for some of our bigger missions. Maybe go for more than one engine on the first stage is actually what I'm wondering, but we'll look at that in a moment. Right, we got the puck. It is ready to go. We have the mission selected, I believe. Yes, we do. First scientific. So let's do it. This is the first flight of the Javelin 2. Of course, it's basically the Javelin 1 with some changed avionics, and then we've put a second stage on to make it the Javelin 2. So we're going to do it a bit like we did the other ones. I'm going to get the ascent guidance up, and we're going to give it a go. Let's hit it. Engines are go, main engine is go, and we are away. We're going to pull back a little bit. Oh, there we go, before we get the horrible noise of that engine. And we are up and going. So, we are coming into cloud. It's cloudy, we're in the dark, obviously, so that's great fun. Right, let's see, we are turning, that is good. I'm going to speed it up a bit. We're going to 2 times speed, because we don't need to watch a rocket go up really slowly, do we? Go through the clouds, and there we are. We're now lit up as the sun comes through the clouds. It's a bit extreme, the cloudiness, isn't it? We've got quite a bit of aero effects there because we are getting quite a bit of this. Those are jettisons, wonderful. And now we are turning and burning. I do wonder what would happen if we had a problem with a couple of those side boosters, whether the craft could actually counter it, because they are quite far out, and they do give quite a punch. I do believe I can actually launch this whole vessel with the 4 of them without the main engine. A bit like was it Titan 2 or Titan 3? Was it where they had the large strap-ons and the air lit the main engine in the center? I think it was Titan 3 actually, or Titan 4. I can't remember the Titan variants anymore. Right. So we are getting along up there. It's a lovely view, that, isn't it? It's absolutely. We just get a bit closer. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. This is not the difficult bit. The difficult bit is that second stage and whether it lights properly, whether it's out of the atmosphere or not. I don't know if it will be or not. It could be on the brink. We did have some problems with the second stage we were using previously, so that's a debatable. There we go. Firing, come on. Why are we not fired? Why have I not fired? Do we have a failure? I think we might have a failure. Right. Let's have a look. Yeah, we have an engine failure. Index was out of range, so what? Didn't fire? This is a scrub. This is going to be a scrub, isn't it? It failed to ignite. Damn it. Right. Well, if nothing else, we can gather something. Get rid of that. Have we got any equipment on board? Get it on, please. Are we actually going to get anything? I mean, it's going to get nothing. It's going to get nothing, but we can at least have an attempt. Does it work? Is the important thing. Is it able to generate enough electricity? It is. Solar panels are at 28% coverage. We are generating. Okay. How high are we going to get? Not very. In fact, we're pretty much at it, aren't we? Okay. So that engine failure is bad. Do we get anything from it? I don't know, because we've now discarded it. It was a failure to ignite. That's annoying. That's really annoying. I think we're just going to that's going downrange. I think we're going to jump across to, that's going to crash. This, we're going to range safety it. Yep. Hello. Why can't that? Hello. What's going on? Oh, I'm on speedy up, so let's slow it down. Let's range safety that. Yep. There we go. Jump across to that one. We'll range safety that. There we go. And then we can range safety this one as well. There we go. Right. Back to base, I think. That was a disappointment. So we're going to keep the Puck 2 lined up. And we're going to do what the Russians did. We're not going to class the first one as a name. So we'll just build another one. But here we have Puck 1 all ready to go again. It's going to take 62 days. We shall... 7,000 funds seems a lot. Am I just used to other versions? I don't know. Well, maybe it's not that much. Total doesn't tell me rollout time, rollout cost, net salary. So it's going to be 12,000 just to do this. That's not bad actually. Launch that. Right, let's go and have a look at our queue. Right, so in our integration list, I think we have to move the Puck up, don't we? Yeah, we'll move Puck 1 up, just because we need to actually complete that. We've got all the staff we can working on this. Yes, we do. So I think we're just waiting, aren't we? Right, let's rush through. We'll get entry, descent, and landing, so we can put another craft in the queue after that. Actually, oh, we have just got Puck 1. How did that? Did that? Oh, you know what? Our integration speed is going up on that pad all the time, isn't it? So it's obviously I've either misread it or something. But anyway, so Puck 1 is going to roll out. In the time that's going to happen, entry, descent, and landing is going to do, which means we can then go and put Romeo 1 in the build list. Not only have we put Romeo 1 in, but we've actually put Romeo 2 in, which is Romeo 1, the second version. So we're going to do 2 of those, just in case we have a problem. Obviously, Puck 1 was never an issue. Puck 1 was never a problem. So there we are. Puck 1 is fine. We could probably rename it Puck 1B actually, but we'll let that be. And we've got the Javelin 2B4, which is going to be interesting actually. The Romeo 1, I have named it Javelin. Yeah, that's right. We've got some later versions that I need to check the naming on actually that I've got in mind. Right, we're going to warp this forward, get to combined. There we go. Everything's good. So now we're working on lunar range communications. We actually need these to work now because we need some science, and the Puck craft should bring us some science. Fingers crossed. Right, let's get to the daytime. We don't need a night launch. There we go. Oh, lovely weather. Oof, not cloudy at all. That was obviously the problem last time. It was the clouds. Right, we're going to launch Puck 1 again. At least you can see that I don't have it perfect missions. That's one thing, isn't it? Recover that. We're going to go for the launch. Right, so why is that up? We've got that's appeared. I wonder what's going on there. Right, we're going to put this down here. Right, this time we're actually not going to do the wonderful visual bit because I actually want to see what's going on. I want to check data units. We got a chunk of data units for the Delta 3A already. We got 1,000 for the Delta 5. Okay, that's good. These are all full, obviously. So that we got 1,000 for Delta 5 when it failed. So that first 1,000's been done. Right. We're going to go with current. We're going to go with engage pilot. We're going to pull back a bit so it doesn't hurt. We're going to keep that open so we can see what's going on. And let's go. Let's see what happens. We have ignition of all the first engines on the first stage. We are aware. We're going to get that horrible noise kicking in now. Now I'm going to pop us in a 2 times speed. We're going to drop to normal speed just before we do second stage ignition, just in case that's a problem. I'm hoping that it's actually that there's not a problem with the engine. Have I got the correct fuel on board? That is now a big question that's going through my head. Have I even tested this craft is another one. Or have I changed something? Because I have run a couple of tests, I will be entirely honest with you. I have run a couple of tests with this craft. There we go, there, the boost is gone. With this second stage, just to make sure that actually the config worked, if you must know. It wasn't with this craft actually. It was with something like this, but it wasn't this. So it could be that I've actually got the fuel wrong. Probably a good idea to check if that's fuel in there. Yeah, there is fuel. There is fuel. Well, it's showing Delta V anyway, isn't it? And I don't believe it's a pressure fed engine. It is turbo pump. Right, so we've got about a minute and something to go on this. We are going at 2 times speed, so it's going to be reasonably quick. Data units are going. It's almost 5,000 data units on that now. That's brilliant, isn't it? It's been running for 2 minutes. Okay. We've yet... this is going to be a mistake saying this. We've yet to have a problem with this engine. The Delta 3 has actually been a really good workhorse engine for us, I think. I don't think we've had a failure. I think we might have had a thruster or something like that error at some point at the end of its burn, but it's generally been a good engine. But then most of the British engines were, so maybe that's part of it. Like I think Spectre, we've had quite a few engine problems, right? We've got that, and it's ignited. Oh, we do have an ignition, which means data units coming in. Are we going to have this come off? Is this going to come off? I suppose we're still under thrust, so actually, wow, we're a long way to orbit already. I did not realise how much that first stage gives us. Are we going to get rid of the fairing? Is the fairing going? Is that happening? Oh, there we are. Right. I suppose we can... I don't really want to, but okay. Right, let's see. What can we do? Can we actually do some science? Let's get it going. Right, which one is this? That is the correct one. Okay, so that one's that ring there. Okay. Right. That's interesting. So the telemetry analysis is for the correct unit. All these other things, maybe it's because they're separate parts. I don't know. Right, we are now in the space. That's good. And we're gathering the science. Science is important to us. You can see here, none of these are biome specific, are they? No, they're just all Earth low. So potentially after 90 days, and this thing should have life for 90 days. After 90 days, we should have 23 science, which is a good start on what we need to do. It is not, however, going to get me to crewed flight. Okay, that's not going to be enough. We're going to have to do some bigger and better stuff for that, I think. Right, let's see. How much can we push it? I think we're just going to speed this up a bit. Because, you know, stuff and things. It says we're going to have about 300 meters per second spare. So if you look down here, where the mouse is, down below the burn, you can see it's got this stage 1, a burn 3. It's got 163 seconds left on it, 2,800 meters per second required. It says we have left 313 in that stage. You'll notice it bobbles up and down. I think it's to do with the efficiency of the engine, and the engine burn changes a little bit over time, but it generally tells you if you're going to be able to make it. We might want to go a little higher. Do we want to go a bit higher? No, I don't actually. I'm happy doing this. This I am happy with. I do not need to go higher. I'm happy doing this. If we put some RCS on this top stage, we could have actually deorbited it. In fact, if I put some solids in a retrograde location around the top here, for example, we could have actually deorbited it as soon as we got into orbit, and that would probably have been the nice, sensible thing to do. As it is, we'll actually range safety it, because I'm nice like that. Right. We're going to get to a nice orbit, I think. How are we doing? I think we're going to get there. Fingers crossed. Come on, there we go. Right, we are now done. Are we in the correct orbit? We didn't check anything. Right, we're in the correct orbit. Stable orbit's going to take a day to check. So we're going to decouple. There we go. I'm going to jump back to this one. I'm going to range safety it. Ooh, that's very close to... Oh, hold on. What? Are you kidding me? What do you mean? Well, it's still there. It's still there. It's just pushed us. Maybe the explosion pushed it away. What's that? Right, we'll go back to we'll go back to the thing. I'll get back to the craft. Don't worry, we'll get back to it. That's special. Here we are in the what, I don't know, what is it? This, the communications thing. You can actually see the two Juliet craft are still technically in orbit there. They're not doing anything. They're out of power, so we can't do anything with them. But Puck we can go to. And lo, Puck lives. Puck lives. How wonderful. Right, they can actually check. I bet it doesn't do the contract now for some reason. Right, so it's got to check stability, and we've got to transmit 1% of cosmic ray science, which is about a day's science. We have no signal, which means I cannot do anything with the craft because we're in a signal black spot. One of the problems with launching from Australia is that you don't get much downrange communications. If you think about it, when you launch from America, you actually fly over Europe, and Europe's got loads of transmitters. You fly over Europe and the sort of northern Africa. So you get transmitters. Here we're flying over the Pacific, where there is pretty much nothing, which will mean that in the future we're going to have to put a comms system up pretty quick, because a lot of our craft, if we're going to do something straight away, will not have communications. So plus also the communications on these craft are pretty poor. Let's be entirely honest, they're not great. There we go. We got signal now. So what are we doing? What are we doing for science? We've got data going down. We do have data going down. So we've got enough bandwidth to actually unload our data. That is good. We haven't got any science yet. We will go for a day, and then I'm just going to leave it in the background doing stuff. But is it actually, is it doing, right, it's got perpetual power. That's good. We have solar coming in at 0.04 per second. We're using about half of that for comms transmission. And then we've got 0.36 and 0.12 per minute. So knock a one off there. But yeah, I think we are covering. We're more than covering. And of course, when we're not transmitting, we'll be getting a lot of power build up. So yeah, actually the comms blackout might actually be doing us a favor. Right, we're going to leave that, and we'll give it a day, see what happens. So let's just run it forward a butter moment, let it spin around. Oh, it's got a nice little roll on it, actually. That's quite nice. I quite like the fact that we've got solar panels on it. We could have put enough. There is enough electricity on there actually for it to survive a day without actual. In fact, I'll show you. If we go to here and we go to info, as soon as we go in the dark. There you go, 12 days. 12 days with transmitters running. It's got enough electricity. It's got a huge amount of electricity in the middle of it. We could actually do it without solar panels. In fact, if I send one of these to the moon, I don't think I would need to put solar panels on it. You can see 6 days. It's running all the experiments and doing all the stuff. Data is downloading. In fact, it pretty much emptied the data buffer there. Still not got much in the way of science though. Still no science. Right, let's have a look. Where that once round is taking us an hour. We'll speed it up, and we'll see what happens. Apologies to those of you who don't like things flashing, because this is going to be a bit flashy. We'll just do that. Actually, that's probably better, isn't it? There you go. Oh, look at that! Isn't that lovely? We're at 17 hours. We could speed up a little bit. Ooh, what? Many. Bit more. 3. Go on. Bit more. And there we are. We have now completed that, and we've completed the transmission of the science as well. So what we'll just do now is we'll roll it back until it's in the sun. There we go. And we'll check that it's actually it is charging. That's good. It's perpetual. Solar panels are not great. We'll wait until they rotate a bit. Let's see. What's the best it's going to get? 24, 25, 23, right? And we will, I'll jump away, and we can actually have a look at these things. Right, radiation belt discovered by satellite. Yay! We've got a thing in the middle of it again. Can we Okay, thank you. The first space probe to include equipment for measuring cosmic rays has revealed belts of charged particles around the Earth. Instead of circling right above us, Puck 1 goes through an elaborate ballet. It shoots up at an altitude of more than 1,000 kilometers before coming close, speeding up, and then soaring back out. Due to the strange nature of orbital mechanics, this requires no energy expenditure once in motion. It slows down and speeds up purely from the laws of nature that Newton discovered almost 300 years ago. Historical information: Sputnik 3, or Object D, was the first scientific satellite launched by the Soviet Union on May. It was... What was it? Yes. It was planned as the first satellite, but it was the first scientific satellite. All right. Is that right? It was planned as the first satellite, but to ensure victory against the US, the Soviets elected to launch Sputnik 1 in 1957. Your rocket may not actually be following Newton's laws, as you need the mod Principia to model n-body gravitational interactions. For new players, the stock two-body approximation is easier to understand. So they did it in May 1958. We did it in September 1958. We have dropped behind the Soviet Union. I'm trying to think. Did Explorer 1 go up before Sputnik 3? I'm assuming that Explorer 1 was considered a scientific satellite. It definitely had science on board. Whether it could be, I don't know. Okay, interesting. So well done, the Times. So we'll continue that. Right, so we are behind the Russians now. That's something to remember. We have completed that program. We've still got these two sitting around. I believe we've still got, yeah, the first biological is available still. That's good. It'd be nice if you got a newspaper after all of these, actually, wouldn't it? That'd be really cool. Let's have a look. Let's go to the administration building. So, I keep forgetting he's got to jump through. So this is now complete. Does it mean that none of these, so you actually have to physically complete the program? That's annoying. I suppose, like, let's have a look. Early lunar probes. Where are we? Early lunar probes. There we go. That's the one. That's going to be small for us. It's a 4-year program. And then we've got communication network interests me as well. I'd love to see the contracts beforehand. So let's have a look at the contracts. So we have, where is it? All. That's what I want to do. Right, RP1. Let's have a look. Communications. Early inner planets, no. Surface exploration. Are these all grouped properly now? Is this me going to be annoyed? Suborbital rocket, X-planes, suborbital early satellites, light, no. Oh, downrange. Is that all of it? Oh, we're not doing that. We've done this one. Actually, can I do this one? Can I do like solar? Active, you've got to have that. All right, have active. So that's annoying. So you never get the option to do the solar powered one or the sun synchronous one. When that's an optional. And you never get atmospheric analysis satellites. Okay, so this is very much the American approach, whereas I suppose that's why you got the newspaper relating to the Russians, because this was the sort of Russian route, wasn't it? Okay. All right. Communications network. What does it require? It requires mission control is trying to do stuff. Is it really? Have a ComSat payload of 125 units on the craft. Periapsis above that. Eccentricity is going to be, wow, that is a pretty big ask, actually. That's restarts. That is restart capability that we'll be looking at there. So we'll be looking to do a climb to that and then a restart. I would have to mock that up in my head to figure out what delta V would need. I suppose we could mock it out now. So let's just have a look. So we're looking at you want 6,371 kilometers, and you want eccentricity to be below that, so pretty much a circular orbit, and you want 3 of them. And Let's have a look. Preferably you'd want 4, actually. Do you have to do both? I mean, do you have to do both? Is that a thing? Let's have a look. Communications network, we could do it. Complete any of those. Okay. So, thanks. Communications network, I think might be a good idea. Once you get the lunar range comms, I can't remember when you can use them as relays. I need to check when the comms become relays. I think it's level 2 actually, so we couldn't do that at the moment. And then the geostationary is that must active that, must not have been completed before. And then this one is the commercial option, which is whatever. This one is just inclination low, eccentricity low, period quite high, lots of units. So geo, that requires 315 units of sounding rocket, of ComSat actually, and these ones require 125. So com network is 125 units of ComSat. And I'm guessing that goes into only one sort of thing, which is service module. So we have to look at how heavy that is. So those are options. Early lunar probes. Oh, we can actually have a look. Lunar flyby. Get within 5 kilometers. Does it need to be a new craft? Launch a new vessel. Launch a new vessel. Uncrewed, must have power. Impact probe must be at least 40 kilograms. It's going to be below that. Impact the moon at a speed of that. Okay. But and it's a subsequent one. Can only be completed twice. Okay, so we're going to get 3 impactors. Flyby is going to be once. First orbit. It's going to be that, and then second orbit. Oh, you're closer. Oh, interesting. They want you to get tight. I think that's possible. I think that is possible. You've got to be within 20 kilometers for each of those, haven't you? Okay. And this, where's the flyby? You've got to be within 5. Collect sites from around the moon and transmit it to KSC. So we've got to be able to transmit it as well. Okay. Ooh, lots to think about there, isn't there? That's going to be it for this episode. I think next episode we're going to launch Big High Craft Book 2. And then we'll probably try and get our return from orbit. It's been a bit of a figure things out episode today. So from me, until next time, have a great one. So if that was good for you, check out on the screen right now some links. You can see other videos you might like. Check out the channel, see if there's any playlists you like. There's also some links to other content creators there you might like. Or leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, do all those things.